Hey, this is Duck Avenger, and it's all new Duck Avenger show. Well, not really all new, but whatever. I have this new mic, I have a new HD camera, so I'm pretty much up to date with all the other YouTubers out there in the world. So we'll be doing Halloween reviews, 31 Halloween reviews in October, 31, one for each day. I got my Halloween decorations right here. I know I'm not Halloween festive yet, so I'm gonna get more decorations as the month goes on. You know, I have a little lamp that I got, a little lantern that has like pumpkins or something like that. Lights up. Or maybe I'll turn off the lights at some point or something like that. Make it a little bit more spooky, scary. And I don't have much of anything on that's spooky, scary myself. You know, I guess you can say my fashion sense is horrible, so maybe that's horrifying to you. But let's get to the reviews because the decorations don't matter. My attire doesn't matter. It matters about the reviews, the games that I play. So the game that we're going to be playing today is Not Graffiti Splatter House. And it's a famicom game only. It was not released in America because of the certain stuff that was in there and going on it. Like things like zombies, monsters, some monsters being released on the NES. I mean, there's a lot of monster games, but there's one thing that definitely makes it stand out and makes it not be an NES game is there's crosses in the game. That is a no-no for Nintendo of America. Nintendo of America hates crosses, anything that's religious. There's even a point in the game where crosses attack you, so us Americans cannot handle that. There is no way that crosses that are attacking us could be in the game, so this was Famicom only. It's a pretty fun game, so let's get into it. So this is Splatter House Naughty Graffiti. You might have heard this before, and right here is your girlfriend, and she is waiting at your grave, and you get struck by lightning and mysteriously come out of the grave. But instead of being super scared that you're a zombie or anything like that, she's super happy for you. She's jumping up and down, all romantic in a horror story. Except that now the lightning strikes another grave, and a pumpkin comes out and takes her away. And this is your motivation to kill everybody in sight. Kill all the monsters around, and go to the end of the world to get her back from the mysterious pumpkin. So basically, one of the things that makes this Famicom only is all these crosses around. Crosses are not good for NES, like I talked about before. They would never make it. Nintendo America rarely ever lets religious symbols be in their games. There's sometimes even like things like Final Fantasy that some of the things have been taken out, like some of the crosses, even though it's just like a curing spell. And so right here, you basically walk to the right, and you get hit by crosses right here. This would never go in America. They would have to change this to something else, but this whole game was just Famicom only. So it never went to America anyways. This is a fan translation. So you basically go to the right and cut the crap out of all the things that are in your way. All the monsters, all the crosses, all the everything, and jump over these pits. It's pretty good controls. I think the controls are spot on. I never had a time where I fell into the pit when I thought I shouldn't have. There was never a time when a monster hit me when I think he shouldn't have. So it's pretty cool. This game is good to get out some aggression and everything like that. And then here comes some of the silly parts. Right here I was like, what the heck is going on? So a vampire boss right here is dancing with 4 zombies. And I decided to dance with them. There is no other game that I know of that a vampire dances with 4 zombies in the game. And I love this Japanese humor for it. And this game has a lot of that Japanese humor and some weirdness. This game is very weird that way. But then the zombies magically come out of the ground, and it gets a little bit hard because as the zombies are going, you have to dodge his little balls that he's shooting out. I don't know what those balls are. I don't know what this guy is really supposed to be. I mean, he's like a disco dancing vampire. I mean, he's kind of like a Michael Jackson vampire. He wouldn't be too out of place in like Thriller or something like that. But this is pretty cool, boss, because you just basically have to mow down these zombies. And like I said, this is pretty satisfying. I like this game because if you had a bad day or if you were mad at someone or something like that, you can take out your aggression in this game. Get all these zombies and tear them apart. And definitely you could get some aggression out. And this is sad because this is Dracula type character. This is Michael Jackson back from the dead. It never comes back in this game again. I like that character. I think they should have made a spin-off game with him, a disco dancing vampire. So I like their backgrounds a lot into this. There's a good amount of broken houses, and there's jack-o'-lanterns and things like that. And you can go into the doors. The door animation looks really good for the Famicom. And there's some cool little things like these spikes right here. It looks like bamboo spikes, and the animations are real well for this. And I think the graphics are pretty good in this game. Though I don't know what I'm fighting here. Like, is that a snake? Is that a cobra? But why is it purple? And then the door is pretty cool that it opens up like that. So I think a lot of this game had a lot of attention to detail. Someone really loved this game and put a lot of effort into it. this is a cool boss right here. This is kind of like an poltergeist type thing that is throwing books at you, and this is basically a boss that is throwing books at you. That a paranormal entity is throwing books at you, and I thought this was pretty cool. I never seen that in a video game before. Just the boss's books, and this game definitely takes a lot of inspiration from different American horror medias and things like that. Like Dracula's in here. There's things like the poltergeist that's in here, or the poltergeist type right here. And I died right here because this game is not the easiest, especially some of the bosses can be harder. Like later in this game I could not figure out a boss, and that's where I had to stop. But the bosses are always fun because they're so unique and different. Like I wouldn't think of any other game that would be able to have a boss like this. But see, I pass this boss right here, and I get on to the next part, and this part is kind of horrifying. This is like Exorcist kind of stuff. So this girl right here, she looks possessed by something. And also the chairs are possessed by something, and her head just comes straight off and tries to attack me. This is horrifying. I can't imagine like being a kid playing this and being like, oh, I love this game. I'd be like, oh, I'm turning this game off right now. I know the Japanese are like less sensitive to this thing, or they can be, because I don't want to generalize Japanese people because I've never been to Japan, most of the times I've heard about Japanese gamers that they're less sensitive than American gamers, but still, this would have scared the heck out of me if I played this game when I was little. Even though I watched a lot of horror movies when I was little, I still love horror movies. This would have scared the heck out of me. So basically, I'm trying to beat this boss, and you gotta hit her in the head while also hitting the chairs so you don't die, because the chairs are also trying to attack you at the same time. So that's kind of a hard thing. I died right here. That's kind of a hard thing in this game, is that when the boss attacks you, also other things attack you at the same time. I know it's a lot of, in most games it's like that there's a boss and there's secondary enemies at the same time too, and it's real prevalent in RPGs obviously, but it was kind of hard in this game. So I gotta fight multiple chairs while I fight her head too, and eventually I was able to hit her head a lot. And I love this little weapon. I mean, it doesn't have that much range, but it's very satisfying, and you feel like you're actually hitting something with it. So it has like some, how you would say, some weight to it. But definitely this is a great game. I think that the controls are great, and here's some platforming, and the platforming is great. There's no problems with it, and here's one of my favorite parts of the game. I love this part. How is there a boss where chickens come out of the oven and attack you? Just cooked chickens without their head. They're like, yep, decided to come out of the oven today and attack this guy that's playing the game. Well, not really the guy that's playing the game, but this character in the game. Yep, everything's come alive, I guess, because of the lightning bolt. Chickens without their heads, the knives, they're coming at you. And this wasn't too hard, this boss, but it was very funny and interesting. And see, you can get little health that comes up. Like I killed some of the chickens, and it comes out like a little candy, or there can be meat. And of course, meat is one of the staples. Health regeneration in a lot of games like Castlevania and many other games, like for instance, like Tasmania, or games that just basically need something to represent health besides a health pack, because a health pack is kind of overrated. So we go down through here and to the next level, and this is one of the levels that was harder for me, the sewer level. Everything's got to have a sewer level on famicom or NES, right? So the sewer level is very interesting because I would never want to go down into the sewer like this. It seems terrible, and I don't know what these things are that are popping out of the sewer. They kind of look like shrimps, but I'm like, maybe are they supposed to be some kind of alien facehugger or something like that? I haven't seen Alien in forever, but isn't that kind of what they look like, that they would attach to your face? And if I'm wrong, leave it in the comment, and you can yell at me for not knowing my Aliens movies, but I haven't seen the Alien in a long time. So you go through this sewer, and this is basically disgusting. And I like how the visuals kind of portray that this is supposed to be a disgusting, dirty place. There's the background that looks like there's like some kind of fecal toilet matter that's coming out of the drain into the sewer currently. And this is the part, though, that I was going through, and I didn't have much trouble in this part. There's little mice that you have to hit, and these little shrimp, but they're pretty easily avoidable. So the part that I had was really had trouble with was really at the end. This was really where I had to stop. Oh, I just used really a lot of times in a row, so sorry about that. But this right here is the boss right here, and if I'm right, this is the boss right here. He blows you back to the left side of the screen. And then I guess you're supposed to attack his mice and get to the right side of the screen, but I was not able to attack his mice and get to the right side of the screen. I kept getting killed by the mice and was not able to get to the other side because the wind kept blowing back. I tried this a few times and I kept dying. So I wanted to walk through this, but I was thinking that this game should really be played without a walkthrough. It's a famicom game. You're supposed to figure it out by yourself. But I didn't get past this part. And I think I will give this another playthrough and get past this part. I definitely recommend this game. This is definitely a cool game, a fun game to just get some aggression out in, and definitely has great controls and everything like that. I recommend this game to you, and I recommend you to have a happy Halloween. Thanks, this has been Duck Avenger. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Halloween review. I guess I usually hype up some kind of product or something like that at the end of the reviews, don't I? Like, I've done Wiener Schnitzel and things like that. I guess I could talk about Carl's Jr. and their, like, cool burgers and things like that. But I don't really want to talk about that. I don't want to be some corporate sponsor, though. Carl's Jr., feel free to sponsor me if you want to. But I just want to talk about that. I'm so excited about all these reviews. I'll have one tomorrow and the day after, and the day after, day after, day after, day after, until October 31st. It is one of the most exciting things I've done. So like, subscribe, leave me comments, tell me how much you liked it. If you hated it, tell me you hated it. Just give me something. And I'll see you tomorrow with a review of Castlevania. Ta-da.